Hello everybody, it's Spegtacular, the Silverstacular. So, I have a question for you. Is fractional silver a good buy? I don't believe it is, and I'm going to explain that now. Alright, so I've had a few people now that have asked me if I recommend fractional silver. And I'm going to tell you why I do not recommend fractional silver. First of all, for the purpose of the video, I have 3 little baggies that are just going to have silver in there. Spoiler alert, there is some silver in each one of these bags. And a 1-ounce round. So first, let's open up this bag, which, if I ordered them correctly, this should have some fractional silver inside. So now these are just really little pieces of fractional silver. These should be 1 gram. So let's try to zoom in so I can show you the gram. Yeah, 1 gram of silver. So this is awfully small. Awfully small. So for size comparison, let's put the 1 ounce next to it. So as you can see from this, it's about the same size until I actually bring them close. So for fun, you can see exactly what 1 gram looks like laying on top of a 1 ounce piece of silver. So kind of smaller, just by a little bit. But there's around 31 grams in 1 troy ounce of silver. So again, here's examples of 1 gram little bars and rounds. Right there. And thank you, Guido Stacking, for this piece right here. This is a 1/10 ounce. Ooh, almost dropped it. 1/10 ounce round. And it's not a mercury dime. It's just a round. There's no value on this right here as far as it being worth 10 cents. It's just a round. This is minted by a private mint, and it says 999 fine silver on the back. So now that I have these out, I want to show you some prices that I found on these right here that you can find online. Alright, so here's some 1 gram bars, and you can see from the price that if you were to buy 31 of these to make up for 1 ounce of silver, you're going to pay about $65 for 1 ounce of silver. Now that's about 4 ounces you would be able to get for that same $65 if you were to just buy 4 ounces of generic rounds. Now here's some of the 1/10 ounce rounds. These are a little bit better of a deal because if you were to buy 10 of these to make up for 1 ounce, you'd pay about $28, which is only about $10 over spot. I hope you could sense the sarcasm there. I do want to mention that I found some half-ounce rounds on some of these websites that were actually not so bad priced, so you could get half-ounce rounds if you really wanted to get into fractional silver rounds, generic only, and they were only maybe like 70, 80, 90 cents over spot. So that's not too bad at all. Now those are the online prices. The ones that you see online are going to be brilliant, uncirculated, never been touched before. Those are fresh from the mint to your door. So that has something to be said for it for sure, that they are brand new. Now I have seen sellers selling these 1 little gram pieces for around $1, $1.20, $1.30. a piece. So you can see from the numbers that no matter how you look at it, these are not a good buy if you're using them to stack. Now, if you want to send some in the mail like Guido did to me, just for a nice little conversation piece or a nice little friend mail piece, you know, that's one thing for sure. That's totally different. That's again staying away from the stacking part of this thing and going towards, you know, collecting. Maybe you just like collecting the little tiny rounds. You know, I'm not hating you for that, for sure, but realize that these are not a viable option, really, for your stack if you're trying to get the most bang for your buck. Now for fun, just as a comparison, because some people think that, hey, fractional silver is just fine, so then, you know, maybe they don't like poured silver. And so, thank you, by the way, Odie Slim, for the bag and these little silver bars right here, these two. So for poured silver, oftentimes you'll pay around $20 an ounce, all the way up to $30 an ounce, sometimes even more if it's very artistic. So now these pieces right here are generally around $25 an ounce. Now these are all fractional, these are much smaller pieces. But even so, as poured pieces and fractional, they are still way cheaper here than those over there. So out of all the little packages I had laid out today, the smallest package is, I think, going to have the most bang for your buck. Because if I'm going to be, a hater on the fractional, then I have to have something that I can give you or something I can tell you about that is a better option. Now what's in here I think is a better option. I had to give you something that's a good option compared to what I think is a bad option. So now if you've seen my other videos, you already know what's in here because you know what I try to tell you about. Oh, there it is. Let's bring it out. I think that junk silver, constitutional silver, whatever you want to call it, is by far a better choice if you're looking for fractional. Because here's a dime, you get 14 of these right here, and you're talking about 1 ounce of silver. And you're only talking about $12, $13 on the high end, for 10 of these. So way, way cheaper. You get it just for $1 or so over spot price, usually for an ounce of this stuff right here. Much cheaper than right here where you're talking, sometimes 40, 50, 60, 70, more, etc. Way up there. And depending on how fractional you want to go, you have your quarters, you have your dimes, you have your half dollars. It's all options that to me are much more friendly on a budget. When you're trying to budget stack or you're trying to get the most bang for your buck out of your stack that you can, it's much better, much wiser in my opinion, to go for the constitutional silver as opposed to the fractional rounds, which are really going to set you back. Now, granted, these look really pretty. These are going to sometimes, like I said, be brilliant uncirculated. They're going to look really neat. And they're cool pieces, don't get me wrong. I mean, that's a neat little piece. It's a conversation piece. They look good when you take pictures of them. Things like that. They're cool for sure. I'm not taking anything away from their coolness, but as far as stacking and trying to get the most bang for your buck, it's a constitutional silver all day, every day, in my opinion. So again, to recap, I think you have, realistically, if you're getting the fractional stuff, it's just for fun. There's nothing wrong with it, but you realize that you're not getting the most you can, with your money when you get the fractional stuff. Same thing with the poured stuff. It's a lot of fun. It can definitely be collectible. A lot of people come and they collect only this stuff and will pay that premium back to you when you sell it sometimes because it is, collectible, and they just know it as such when you talk about poured silver. But this is the one. This is the winner. The constitutional silver is the winner here. Once again, I love this stuff. I can't say enough about it. It's a perfect silver to stack. All right, so now you know my opinion. Please leave me a comment telling me yours. And subscribe if you haven't, of course. Thumbs up the video. Share it with others. At this point, I have to go. Spegtacular is fractionally out.